Hello and welcome, my flapjackers. It's SJB here, and today we've got some ridiculousness going on. Ninja Kiwi just dropped the patch notes for version 36.0. This is the Beast Handler update, and they also wanted to give us a crazy amount of new and interestingly weird balance changes. Starting off with the Ultra Juggernaut. So yesterday in my video I talked about how all the new changes are coming to the game. Today, I just want to talk about the balance changes. So, if you notice, the Ultra Juggernaut's going to explode 8 Juggernaut balls out of every single shot that it blows up over here. They're changing that not from 8, but to 32 right from the get-go. So clearly, they think that this Ultra Juggernaut is not good enough with his random extra things, and I kind of understand this, but honestly, on things like Cornfield, this is going to be a crazy change. By the way, if you guys are enjoying the content, please press that like button, subscribe, but if you haven't hit the little bell yet, that's pretty cool too. You could probably do that for me. Next up, we've got the Tack Zone, and this is an interesting and weird change, because I felt like this wasn't unreasonable, but if you look at the range of the Tack Zone when he shoots out his thingamajigs, it's actually much larger than the range of the Tack Zone itself. They decided to nerf the Tack Zone once again, so these tacks are no longer going to randomly shoot out and hit other things. Specifically, if you end up getting a bunch of weird upgrades like primary expertise in his range, you can make these guys go really far. No longer will that be the case. You only get the range that he actually has. Kind of upsetting, but I guess it makes sense. I don't know if Ninja Kiwi's looking at my polls or just looking at like use case scenario or something like that, but Moab Dom, the least favorite boomerang 5th tier by far. Ninja Kiwi decided that they want to buff the crap out of the Moab Dom. I don't understand this at all, but Moab Dom is getting a price decrease. Guess how much, guys? All right, so first of all, we got to show off how much does he cost. $51,300. It's going to go down to $41,400. A $10,000 price decrease on Moab Dom. This guy's already really good against the Moabs, and he's even pretty decent against bad balloons. This is going to be a crazy change to the game, and I honestly can see a lot of players trying to use Moab Dom a lot more in this game. If you guys want to do me an absolute solid here, make sure you're using my creator support code. It's simple, just click SJB. It doesn't cost you nothing and helps me out a lot. So I got to admit, this reasoning about the Flying Fortress from Ninja Kiwi is really weird. What Ninja Kiwi does in their patch notes is they usually end up giving you not just what the changes are, but why they think the changes are necessary. And I think that's really helpful in understanding kind of what Ninja Kiwi's thought process is. But when these changes are ridiculous, they don't really make that much sense. Ninja Kiwi decided that they don't like that the Flying Fortress isn't viable in Chimps mode, and they want to make sure that it is viable in Chimps mode so that you can use it on the harder maps like Bloody Puddles and stuff. That sounds really weird, but we're getting a huge price decrease on the Flying Fortress as well. I kind of understand it, but it is really powerful. It does have some weaknesses here and there, but dang, dude. $15,000 price decrease on Flying Fortress, making it a viable option similar to the MAD on Chimps mode. Honestly, pretty pumped about this. Bloon Incineration, it's been, I don't want to say garbage for a while, but it's not good. It's just, like, hard to use, and, of course, it's a mortar, so, like, we don't want to be microing this crap. Like, is it really worthwhile ever to get a Bloon Incineration these days? Well, kind of, if you have to deal with, like, DDTs and still want to pop some balloons here and there. But I mean, this is just a crap ton of BFBs, and we're still struggle-lugging with Bloon Incineration. It's just stupid, right? So Ninja Kiwi has decided they will indeed buff the Bloon Incineration by a lot. So, basically, this fire here, its radius is going to be tripled. So now you're going to see a kind of a giant fire explosion throughout the entirety of the map here that can actually affect multiple lanes and stuff like that. I really like this change. I don't know if it's going to actually increase this popping power overall just because it's a bigger range, but at the very least, I think we're going to hit more balloons and more random Moabs, and I think we can position this guy in more strategic areas, and I definitely like that idea a lot. Whoa, Nelly! Yeah, this is very unexpected because the True Sun God basically has not changed since the beginning of the game. They just kind of like threw it out there and had people sort of slowly understand and learn all of the intricacies of the True Sun God. They've decided that, well, people understand it too well, and they don't like that. They want people to be more confused, so they've readjusted all of the changes or all of the sacrifices that you have to do to make sure your True Sun God is going to be the max True Sun God. And this is probably also because the Beast Handler is a new support tower, but they don't really want him to be a full support tower. So I don't know if we're going to be getting some sort of super awesome Temple Beast coming out or something like that, but I'm really excited about this. And of course, they haven't given us any information about how the temple is going to change, so we're going to have to figure out this over time. But I'm really excited to see some sort of mega beast coming out of a true sun god from the beast handle. That just sounds frickin' amazing, dude. Next up, banana farms. Banana farms have been the life of the party for a long time, but I think pretty much everybody knows that when you're getting a banana farm, especially to start, you go for a 2-0-0 banana farm. Well, Ninja Kiwi does not like that, so they're giving long life bananas and easy collect a bonus amount of banana money. It says 12.5%. But I don't know exactly what that means and how that's going to affect the game completely. So, yeah, we'll have to see if this is going to end up being useful at all to have cross paths of your banana farm, specifically getting like a 2-1 or a 2-0-1 or something like that, instead of actually always going for the exact same banana farms. Ninja Kiwi has been paying attention. I do like this change a lot. Distraction Ninja. So the Distraction Ninja, I think most people know by now, pretty bad. I mean, counter-espionage has its use cases, but far in between from anything of reasonable value. Distraction, getting a huge buff. So we're going from 12.5% distraction up to 40% distraction, and I'm pretty cool with that. I mean, it is a tripling of the distraction rate, but that should mean that a distraction Grandmaster Ninja or something might actually be a reasonable thing to get these days. Or even a random flash bomb distraction ninja might actually slow these things down and send them backwards. Very cool idea. We'll see if it actually affects the game that much, but I'm excited for it. You guys might remember in the last update, when you buy a Permabrew, you get a pretty big amount of range. So now we actually have a reasonable amount of range, and that makes a lot of sense. Everybody liked this change so much that they decided to make Permabrew, guess what? A global ranged tower, like a sniper rifle. So every single tower on the screen will get permabrewed if you end up getting this guy, and I think that's freaking cool. I don't know if it's actually balanced, but I really like the idea. This is probably the craziest change that I have seen in a long time, and obviously they're really going balls to the wall with these freaking changes today, but dang, I mean, freaking Ultra Boost, dude. This has been messed around with so much. If you guys don't know, Ultra Boost used to be way more powerful and basically double your popping power by the time you get it to 10 times. Now it's not quite that much, it's like 1.6 times or something like that. And it makes it a lot harder to use, in addition with a lot of other like weirder towers that are higher tier, because now it doesn't last as long either. It does not last the entirety of the cooldown here. So Ninja Kiwi has decided to come up with something really weird. They decided that late game ends up being a little bit too easy. Everybody gets Ultra Boost up to 10 times, and they kind of run out of time to Ultra Boost things. They've decided to say, screw it. 10 times is no longer the max Ultra Boost you can get. It's 100 times Ultra Boost. They said that it decreases the amount that it's getting Ultra Boosted after 10 times. So the 11th to the 100th time is going to end up being less powerful, but that could mean that we could get a 2 times or even 3 times more powerful tower. They also said there's a surprise with Ultra Boost and Paragons combining together these days, and I don't know what that means yet because they haven't given us the information. They're sort of like leaving it in secret, basically. But I am really excited to test out if Ultra Boost is going to work on Paragons now. Come on. I mean, some of these changes are just freaking ridiculous. Comanche Commander has been a weird tower for a long time. I would say that most players probably don't end up using Comanche Commander all that often. If you're going to go for something, you're probably going to go for a top path heli pilot, middle path too. I mean, there's just, it's not that this guy's bad in any way, he's just not good in any way. I think that's a big problem here. They've decided, well, guess what? We're going to make this more interesting. No longer do you get 3 little mini heli pilots, now you get 5, bro. Your infinite popping power is officially gone with the Ray of Doom. Now, instead of straight up just going through infinite Bloons, Ninja Kiwi did not like that because it can cause the game to crash. I get it, I understand that. So they have nerfed the Ray of Doom. Now he specifically has 1 million pierce cap. I don't know if that matters to you, but just want to throw it out there. Ninja Kiwi, what are you doing to me, man? This is probably the weirdest change that I've ever seen in my entire life. So if you guys have not seen it yet, the Bloon Solver got a really interesting change in the last update. They didn't know if it was going to be a buff, a nerf, or just a change overall, but basically it drops glue on the screen now. It's already pretty powerful, and now that you're hitting just a bunch of extra balloons just sort of randomly, it ends up being really good. They thought that the Bloon Solver still wasn't good enough. So they did like a little bit of a combo nerf buff thing, but they made the Bloon Solver $5,000 cheaper, but now you're taking away one of its balloon popping power capabilities. So instead of being able to pop 12, we're only allowed to pop 11. That seems like a very small change for being $5,000 cheaper, dude. I don't understand it. I think you guys are all going to be using Bloon Solver pretty much all the time these days. So if you guys remember in the last update, they allowed us to change the targeting of where the Prince of Darkness's balloons actually come out from, and They like this so much that they've decided to make this even more interesting by giving this guy a higher graveyard. So if you put him in the right spot and you're able to put him in the Bloons on the right spot, you can get way more Bloons coming out. Crazy buff for this guy. We got to do some zebras or something, dude. We got to get some freaking graveyard here. But the graveyard is going to, instead of being maxed out at 3,000, it's going to be 10,000 pops. Or 10,000 graveyard, or whatever the heck you want to call it. It's pretty wild. I don't understand it all that much, but hey, we'll see if this is going to be the most OP tower ever now. All right, we got some Super Monkey changes here that are pretty interesting. I already talked about the temple change, but I have not talked about the lower level Super Monkeys yet. This is pretty wild, but Super Range gives you not just +1 Pierce now, but +2 Pierce. We're going from 1 Pierce to 3 Pierce by getting Super Range. They did not like that Laser Blast and Plasma Blast were just used all the time. And then Epic Range, instead of getting 4 Pierce, we're going up to 6 Pierce. And then Robo Monkey is getting buffed by being taken down another $2,000, costing him only $5,000. They want people to build the Robo Monkeys. They do not want people to build Plasma Blasts, but you could go for a Robo Monkey Plasma Blast still and still end up being pretty powerful here. This is just an insane tower. And I don't understand why they just keep buffing this guy when he can already kill a crap ton of mobs all by himself at this point in the game. Now they're saying we're going to make him even more powerful. Ninja Kiwi, what the heck are you doing here? I don't get this. I don't understand this. I think Ninja Kiwi is going freaking insane these days or something. But the Mad, they do not like that the Mad is too powerful against DDTs and such. I mean, if you notice, DDTs basically get killed in one hit. They don't like that this guy was used too much in the boss Bloons, so they have decided to nerf him hard. Instead of doing the full 200 damage to a DDT to pop it in one shot, or pop a Moab in one shot, that is no longer the case. Now it's going to do 7 damage per shot, but they're going to make him fire 10% faster. What the heck? How is this guy going to be a viable tower at all? Like, are they trying to kill the Mad? All right, another freaking crazy change here, Archmage. So because they were changing the 5th tier bottom path to have more graveyard capabilities here, they decided to make the Archmage also, because it can do every other thing that every single other wizard can do. It does fireballs, it does dragon's breaths, it does shimmers, it does everything. Why does it not put Bloons on the screen? So they are now allowing this guy to have its own graveyard and pop Bloons onto the screen as well, making Archmage officially the most powerful tower in all of Bloons Tower Defense 6. And they also said that his graveyard is going to be 5,000 compared to the 10,000 of Prince of Darkness. Why would we build this guy when Archmage is already going to do that for us? This is insanity. All right, guys, another weird change here. Pirate Lord is getting mega buffed again. They said that Pirate Lord has too many use cases because water is just too far. Let me read this really quickly. The water is not common enough in Bloons Tower Defense 6, so we have to make sure that the Pirate Lord ends up being better because of it. So now they're buffing the Pirate Lord, which was already a pretty decent tower in the game, and they're making his damage go from 7 up to 14. Doubling his damage on the cannons, and then for his darts, they are tripling his damage, going from 7 up to 21. That just seems straight up crazy, and I think Pirate Lord is going to be one of the best towers in the history of the world. And if you haven't realized it by now, April Fools. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a super duper delicious day.